Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Max, Chief Evangelist over here at Happily. If you've ever used properties in HubSpot that displayed times and dates, you may have become frustrated with the way that they deal with different time zones. This was a particular pain when trying to send date-sensitive emails that would contain date information that was injected by some kind of personalization token. So if you wanted to be able to say, the event's going to take place on August 24th, 2024 at 10 a.m. or something like that. That's a pretty difficult thing to do because the way that HubSpot handles date-time properties, let me show you what I'm actually getting at here, okay? So I'm inside of HubSpot right now. And I am building an email that is going to be my registration confirmation email, right? So I've got my base level email here, no fancy design or everything. And on the left, you can see that I have this sentence that says your registration for event name on start date and time is confirmed. Now, start date and time is the main date time property that we use to say, when does this event actually start? The problem with this is that the way HubSpot renders this in email, you get no control over what time zone it's using, the format of the date, anything like that. So let me show you what this would actually look like for someone who would receive this email. So I'm going to come up into here where it says preview and test. I'm going to hit preview as a contact, and I'm going to say, look at this like a registrant. And so we're going to choose the registrant. I'm going to find Max Cohen, and then we've got Paleta Fest 2025. Right? And I'm going to say, choose to view it as this contact. It automatically drops in all the information from the event, right? So go and take a peek at our event here. Our event is going to be on 9/23 at 12 p.m. Eastern time, right? And the end date is the same, but it's going to be a little bit later. It's going to end at 10 p.m. Okay. Keep in mind, I'm viewing this right now in an Eastern time zone. I'm in Billerica, Massachusetts, right? So I'm on the East Coast. So when I see this in HubSpot, it says Eastern time. Now, if I go look at this email and I look at how it prints this date out, got a little problem here, right? It's showing me 9 a.m. Pacific time. Now, that's an issue, especially considering that this is going to be an event in Massachusetts, which is on Eastern time. Why is this happening? What HubSpot does when it prints out date time fields is it actually doesn't use any sort of preferred setting that you have as a user. It just displays it to you in your browser's time zone when you're looking at it. What it does is it looks at the default time zone that you have set for your portal. So you can see this portal's time zone is set to Los Angeles. And that's messing us up here because it's saying, hey, the event's going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Now, technically, it's not wrong, but people going to this event are thinking in Eastern time because it's taking place in Massachusetts. So how do we actually address this? We've come up with a pretty novel way that not only gives you control over time zone, but also gives you more control over the formatting of the date and also lets you be a little bit more natural in the way you type your sentences in order to communicate that. So let me show you how this works. If you noticed, back on our main event record here, we have this UI extension in the middle that's showing the event details. And inside of the event details, we can come in and actually dictate what the start date and the end date is, as well as the start time and the end time. We can also come in here and choose how the date is actually shown. Do we want it to be short, which is what HubSpot does by default? Do we want it to be medium with a weekday, long, full, right? There's all these different ways we can display the actual date. We can even choose the time format. We can make it a 12-hour clock or a 24-hour clock. And we can even choose the formatting locale because you may write the date differently depending on where you are in the world, right? Not everyone writes month before date, for example, right? Now, I have this set to Eastern because my event's going to be in Eastern time, so I'm going to leave this here. But what happens is when you set your time through here and give it all the information you want for the formatting, we then populate these fields over here on the left. Display start date, display start time, display end date, and display end time, regardless of what your portal is set to for the default time zone, right? Now, breaking these up into their own properties lets us actually get a lot more flexible in the way we communicate information about date and time in your emails, such as a confirmation email or a reminder email, both emails that are very important to making sure people show up to your event on time. And again, you might do events in different time zones. So you want to be able to make sure that event by event, you can choose the time zone that all of your time stuff is displayed in, whether it's on a CMS page, like a registration page we create for you, or more importantly, in an email where it's much more difficult to manage. So let's actually come back into this email. I'm going to go back and edit this email, and I'm going to change up the way this module is written. So I'm going to come over here on the left-hand side, and I'm just going to say your registration for event name is confirmed. So I'm going to delete all of this, right? So we'll say it's confirmed. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to write it as a natural sentence. I'm going to say the event will take place on, and then I'm going to do personalize. I'm going to search for a registrant based token because we push all this to the registrant record. And I'm going to choose display start date. And then for a fallback value, and we'll say the event will take place on start date. So I'll put a little period here, and then I'll say, so we will get started around, and then I'm going to do personalization token, registrant, and I'm going to do display start time and end around roughly. Get as creative as you want here. And then I will go personalize. I want to do registrant end time. Cool. I'm going to skip the fallback value for now. All right. So now let's see what this will actually look like when we send it to a registrant. So I'm going to go preview as a contact again. I'm going to switch over to Happily Registrant, Max Cohen, Paleta Fest 2025, and we'll choose this. Cool. Now, instead of just having like the date end time smushed into one little token output, right? We can communicate naturally how we would say a date and a time, right? So we can easily say the event will take place on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. We will get started around 12 p.m. and end around roughly 10 p.m. Just like that. So it makes it super, super easy to format your emails the way you want, format the dates, choose the time zones, irregardless of what your HubSpot portal is set to. I don't think I've seen any other app treat date and time properties the way that we have. It took a lot of engineering effort to get this done, but we did. You can use it as a UI extension. It's super easy to update whenever you need to, and you can even push it out to all your registrant objects. So if you need to communicate a time change or something like that, it becomes super easy to do that. As soon as registered records are created, not only do they get all the information that they need to drop into emails like this, including the QR code and the date and everything, it'll also grab whatever the most recent time was that was set to that specific event. So it's available as properties that you can use when you're sending these confirmation emails. Anyway, that's how we deal with date and time weirdness in Event Happily. So if you've struggled with formatting dates correctly for your registration emails you've been sending out in HubSpot, Event Happily really is just the only way to go. If you guys have any other questions, drop a comment in the video below. Shoot us an email at care@hapily.com. Feel free to book a demo or just reach out to us on LinkedIn. We're here to help. Hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.